Hello everyone and welcome to It Goes Off. It's our pre-game show and we have got a very, very important announcement. We're about to announce this year's combatants in the NBL All-Star game. And Grantley Bernard, it's been a detailed process where the fans have had the opportunity to vote, and you're about to announce who the Northern All-Stars in the 2012/13 NBL season are going to be.
The North All-Star starters. Very pleased with the first one. We've got him over the line.
I think we take credit for this one.
Ben Madgen of the Sydney Kings.
We lobbied hard for him.
From the Wollongong Hawks, too hard to guard, Idriss De Leon. His
coming
teammate.
Off the bench. He comes off the bench.
Hey, but now he's going to start.
Now he's going to start.
The Big O from Wollongong, Oscar Foreman. From the Sydney Kings, Darnell Lazar. And from the Cairns Taipans, Cam Trigger.
And I think, in fact, Cameron Trigger actually led all individuals in voting. So congratulations to Cam Trigger. That's a wonderful achievement.
Solid effort.
Congratulations to all those players. Fantastic achievement and acknowledgement of their season so far. For the South, the All-Stars, the starters are going to be, and very, very obvious starting backcourt in Cedric Jackson and Kevin Lish. What a mouth-watering backcourt that is going to be. Thomas Abercrombie is going to be in one forward spot, and Seth Scott, the Melbourne Tigers import, who's having a wonderful season, he's going to be also in the forward spot. And Matthew Knight was going to be a starting centre in the South All-Stars, but unfortunately because of a calf injury, he's had to be withdraw from the game. So commiserations to him, but congratulations to Daniel Johnson, the local boy, the Adelaide 36er, gets a start in the South All-Star team. This is shaping up to be a cracking game.
It looks like it could be on. I reckon. I reckon it's going to be about 125, 117.
Oh, that's about right. I think you're about on the money. Who's way of this lineup? Who do you like the look of?
Oh, Benny Madgen. He'll have at least 40.
Well, I think you're dreaming. I think the South are going to win this one, and around that sort of margin you're talking about. But congratulations to all those players. Fantastic recognition for what they've been able to do so far this season. And Grantley, the other important announcement about this particular game is the coaching staff. And for the Northern team, who's going to be running the ship there?
The coach for the North team at the All-Star game will be Gordy McLeod from the Wollongong Hawks. And his assistant coach will be none other than the irrepressible Black Pearl, Cal Bruton.
What are the chances of Gordy McLeod getting a word in?
Minimal.
Minimal.
In fact, I would go so far as to say that Cal could just take over the whole enchilada.
And as he should. It's going to be fantastic. He'll certainly bring some razzmatazz into the game. And for the South All-Stars, as it goes without saying, Andre Lamanis, he's just won the last two titles. It would have had to have been some sort of inquiry if he didn't get the gig, because the Break is doing some fantastic work again this season. And his assistant is going to be one of the all-time greats in the NBL. I'm willing to say the best rebounder, second best rebounder ever in the NBL. And I'm not talking about statistics here, I'm just talking about as playing against or alongside someone as Mark Davis. He's going to be a treat, Grant. I couldn't.
So let me guess that your best all-time rebounder would be someone that played for the Melbourne Tigers.
No, just who do you think is the best ever?
Well, you're probably thinking. I'm saying what you're thinking. You're thinking Mark Bradkey.
Yeah, of course. It goes without saying.
Melbourne Tigers.
No, it's got nothing to do with that.
What about Dean Utoff?
Very good, but not as good as Mark Bradkey.
Yeah.
Who do you agree with? Mark Bradkey is the best rebounder ever or not?
I think Davis is up there.
Who is the best, Grantley?
Now you know how frustrating it is when someone sits on the fence, don't you?
I just want to know, who do you think is the best?
Brad Dalton.
See. Say it. It's like the Fonz, you can't say it. Hey, Grantley, there's also some very, very big games going on in round 10 of the INET NBL Championship. That's all happening this week. The Adelaide 36ers, they need to bounce back as well because they dropped a couple. But let the good folk out there know where all the action's going on this weekend.
Well, the Adelaide 36ers have to cool their heels until Sunday until they can get back on the floor. It starts Friday night. The Perth Wildcats 6-3 against the Wollongong Hawks 7-2. That is going to be huge. That is on 1 at 9:30 p.m. right around the country on Friday night. Then on Saturday, we've got the 7-5 Sydney Kings against the New Zealand Breakers 8-2. That could be a war on the floor out at Homebush that game.
They're going out to Homebush.
Moved it from the city out to Homebush, probably for the safety of the inner city. I think it's going to be on that one.
Yep.
Then we go to the other end of the spectrum. The Townsville Crocodiles 1-10 against your Melbourne Tigers. Your Melbourne Tigers at 2-7. And on Sunday, it rounds out with a great contest. Adelaide 36ers, 5-5, coming off that 0-2 weekend against your Perth Wildcats, right around the country on 10 at 2 p.m.
And the Adelaide 36ers have been a bit of the bogey team for the Perth Wildcats. They've beaten them twice this season, so it's not going to be an easy assignment by any stretch, but Adelaide desperately need this win. Now let's take a look at some of the statistical leaders, and for the scoring, it's Ben Madgen at 19.4 points per game. Dropped off a little bit last weekend, but still, what a Herculean performance it was against the Adelaide 36ers when he dislocated his shoulder and still powered through. Well done to Ben Madgen. Cedric Jackson, he's making a charge with that 28 points last weekend at almost 17 a game, along with Idris DeLeon with almost 16 a game. For the rebounding, Jacob Holmes, he is just a rebounding fool, this young man. And he's almost...
Best rebound you've ever seen in the league?
I've told you who the best is ever, and that's Mark Bradkey. Right. But Jacob Holmes, for his size and athletic ability, he just got a nose for the ball. Unbelievable. Daniel Johnson at almost 8 a game, and Seth Scott at 7.5 a game. In the assists, Cedric Jackson at 8 a game. That is triple-double last weekend.
I'll say one thing about Cedric Jackson. He's never met a pass he didn't like.
Stats stuffer. He rebounds for a little man. He does it all. Fantastic performance last weekend with that
best
triple-double.
Best small rebounder in the league you've ever seen?
I need to give that a bit more thought. But Adam Gibson at almost 5 assists a game. And Gary Irvin showing some form in that win, hitting the go-ahead basket last weekend against the Adelaide 36ers. So Gary Irvin stepping up there as well. Grantley, big weekend ahead of us, and congratulations again to all those who have been lucky enough to be selected in the All-Star game. And well done for all the fans out there for getting behind it and voting. Just thousands upon thousands of votes were registered. So possibly the greatest vote getters in the history of an NBL game here in Australia. So well done to all the people out there.
They did have an All-Star ballot when you played, didn't they? But
I think there was more this week.
They had to actually chisel out the stone and put the tablet into the...
They had the technology that was around these days. And don't forget, tickets still available. The NBL All-Star game, the 22nd of December. It's going to be a fantastic game. You've got the three-point shootout, you've got the dunk contest. So get out there and purchase your tickets. Very reasonably priced as well, I might add. So great fun for the entire family.
Is there a celebrity All-Star game?
There will be a little celebrity 3-on-3 type game going on at the halftime break. So it's like the kiddies at halftime. They only go out there for 8-9 minutes. That's about all the some of the, not celebrities, but some of the
How much of the ball do you reckon you can monopolise in 8 to 10 minutes?
Well, there's a contractual obligation that the NBL need to fulfil for me to be involved, so there'll be some shots for my good self coming my way, I would think. It's the only way I'd play. I need to be able to get them. I played in an All-Star game last year in Townsville and had one shot for the game. It took me 3 weeks to get over it. It's just had the shakes. So hopefully that won't happen again with 3-on-3 type action.
You mustn't have been doing much because you wouldn't have been playing any defence either.
Grantley, we need to say thanks to those that support this wonderful game. It all starts with the naming rights sponsor in the IronNet NBL, and that is, of course, IronNet.
Connect better.
10
and 1.
Sporting
and for.
And Virgin Australia doing some wonderful work. And just another note, every game, at every NBL game right throughout this season, IronNet, the good folk in IronNet, offer up $5,000 for someone who can ping it in from the centre line. And I haven't seen one of them go off. But
The IONet quarter time quick shot.
correct. Quarter time, go out there. A lucky fan that goes along the game gets selected. And Kevin Higgins, last Friday night in Perth, knocked one down from the centre line. And I think he was signed by the Wildcats post that as well. But $5,000 courtesy of IONet went Kevin Higgins' way. So congratulations to him. Fantastic stuff by you, even though you're highly critical of me, but fantastic stuff of you, Grantley Bernard, in our pre-game show. We look forward to your company next week, but make sure you get out there and check out all the games going on across the IONet NBL in round 10. We look forward to your company next week on the #1 podcast in the world, and it's called It Goes Off.